Hi everyone. In previous videos, we learned how to import and move pre-made components such as the motors and the wheels to represent the left and the right wheel assembly, and how to position them on a platform to create a 3D printed robot. In this video, we're going to learn how to create a motor mount in order to attach the motor to the platform. So let's begin by constructing a plane. We're going to make an offset plane off of the this face of the motor. So let's click on it and let's make it 2 millimeters away from the motor. So let's type in 2 and we'll hit OK. Let's also turn off the right wheel assembly by hitting the light bulb so we can get a better look at what we're designing. So we'll look at it from the front. Let's create a rectangle from the plane that we constructed. So we'll go to Sketch, Rectangle, and we'll make a center rectangle. Let's click on the plane. You'll see it turn white. And let's construct a rectangle by finding the center of the circle. And you'll know that it's the center when you'll get that square with a circle in the middle. So we'll make a rectangle that's let's make it about 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters. So let's type in 5. Let's hit Tab and type in 5 again and hit Tab. And what that does is it locks our rectangle into place so we can't change its dimensions. And let's click. So we got a rectangle, more of a square, that's 5 millimeters by 5 millimeters. So now that we have that, let's create a line. Let's get the front view. Let's create a line that extends down to the platform. We'll go to Sketch and hit Line, or we can just hit L on the keyboard. So we'll go to Line, we'll hit the corner, and we'll extend this line down to the platform. A few things I want to check for. One thing I want to make sure of is that this line is 90 degrees relative to where I started, and you can see that it is. And then I want to make sure that it connects to the platform, and I can see that there's an X, which means the line is going to intersect with the platform. So let's click, and let's do the same thing on the other side of the square. Click, and we'll extend the line down to the platform. We'll make sure it's 90 degrees. And if we're not sure or we can't get it close to 90 degrees, we can always hit Tab and we can just type in 90 and then hit Tab, and that locks that into place. So if we click, when we see the X, now we have a line. Let's hit Escape. Now, what we're going to want to do is make sure there's a hole that corresponds to the hole on the motor so we can get the screw through and tighten the screw around the motor mount that we're designing. In order to do that, let's go to Sketch, let's go to Project, and we'll click on Project. And what we're going to do is we're going to project the circle onto this plane, and you can see that it already did it for us. But if it didn't, we can just click on the circle and we'll hit OK. And you can see there's an outline of the circle onto that plane that we constructed. So let's hit Stop Sketch. Again, let's click on the view cube so we can keep looking at it from the front. And we're going to extrude this out now. So we can either hit E on the keyboard, or we can go to Create and Extrude. So what we're going to extrude is this part. Actually, before we extrude this, let's make sure that we also get the bottom mounting hole incorporated into the plane, or else we're not going to have space to get a screw in through here. So let's hit Cancel. Let's go back into Sketch, and we'll continue creating Sketch on what we've already been working with. And you can see if you highlight this, you're going to see the old sketch kind of turn gray, and that's what we want. Let's click. And let's repeat the process of projecting it again. We'll go to Sketch, Project, and Project. Let's select the circle, and let's hit OK. So now we have two circles for the mounting holes, the bottom one and the top one. Now we can hit Stop Sketch, and let's go back to Extrude. So again, it's under Create and Extrude, and what we're extruding is, let's hit Cancel. Let's go back to Extrude. What we're extruding is the rectangle and the top rectangle. Doesn't look like the bottom mounting hole selected, but let's try to extrude anyway, and we'll see if we can go back and fix the problem. Let's try to extrude it about 4 millimeters. So we'll type in 4, and we're gonna hit OK. But under the operation, what we want is a join, and what join does is it joins the mounting bracket to the platform. The other option I could do is I can go to new body as my operation, and what that would do is it would create a new body for the mounting bracket. So then I could move the mounting bracket separately. I can change its size a little bit easier, but in this case I'm more interested in making this one solid body. So we're going to make it into a join, and let's hit OK. So you can see the top hole got incorporated OK. Let's see if we can get the bottom hole as well. Let's try to rotate to the back. Let's turn off the left wheel assembly for a moment. Let's see if we can rotate to the back of this mounting bracket and select. Looks like there's a sketch that's getting in the way. So we can right click and go to hide that. And let's hit escape. Let's see if we can select this hole, and looks like it's selectable. And in order to make the bottom hole for the screw, we're going to hit extrude. So again, we can either hit the E hotkey or go to create, create and extrude. And we're going to extrude this through the mounting bracket. And you can see that it turns red because it's going to be cutting through it. And by default, the operation becomes a cut. So let's hit OK. And let's turn on the left wheel assembly again. And now you can see, if we zoom out a little bit, that we have both of the holes incorporated. One other thing to kind of watch out for, since we got a tall mounting bracket, this bottom part where it joins the plate might be kind of a weak point. When we 3D print it, there's a chance that it could snap if the robot runs into a wall or runs into another robot. So let's look at maybe getting this a little bit more structurally sound by adding a fillet. To do that, we can go to Modify, and we'll hit Fillet. And let's select a couple lines. Let's select this line. Let's hit Control, and we're going to select this line on the corners and the other line on the corners. And we're going to select a fillet of, let's try 1 millimeter. And you can see it adds a fillet that gives the bottom of this mounting plate a little bit more structure to attach it to. If I could experiment with something I like, I can try maybe 1.5, and it gives me a thicker fillet. One thing to watch out for as I'm doing this, if I make it too big, let's say maybe 3 millimeters, when I get the screw through, I might have an issue getting the screw secured enough because of that curve that I'm going to have. So I think 1.5, 1 to 1.5 is a pretty good size. I'm going to choose to use 1.2. And that looks okay, so I'm going to hit OK. So now I have the bottom mounting plate. The bottom plate, I have a mounting bracket for the motor to attach to. And I can see in my browser window that I still have just one body. So I know that the mounting bracket and the plate is all one thing, and that I can turn off and on as I need. And then I can repeat the same process. I can turn off my left wheel assembly, turn on my right wheel assembly, and I can easily repeat the same process on the right wheel. All right, this will do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.